What it do, man? Thank you for tuning in, bro. If it's your first time watching, please subscribe. You've been rocking with me, hit that like button. Old or new, please share the video, bro. On every other platform you watch, share it on my phone. This platform too. You know what I'm saying? Uh, if you've been watching these pop the balloon videos, bro, consistently, you know that it's one person. It's one person that we end up hating. Everybody end up hating on this line. They either too cocky, they talk too much. We just hate their personality. You know what I'm saying? And the last week we had Dr. Desmond. You know what I'm saying? The doctor, everybody hated him. He had dreads or whatever with the suit. I think he's African. You know what I'm saying? That's the accent he was giving. And I think he said he was African. He did an interview afterwards with BM, you know what I'm saying? Which is, I think he's like co-creator of Pop the Balloon type shit. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna tune into that shit today.
All right, welcome back to BM Talks to them. So today
Cut the
we
dreads
actually
off.
have Desmond, but he goes by Dr. Des. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Okay. So you was actually on episode 36 of Pop the Balloon and Find Love. Now I want to ask you first, how was your experience on the show?
My experience on the show was phenomenal, and I enjoyed being on the show. I enjoyed meeting new people there and made some good friendship while on the show. So it was remarkably phenomenal.
Okay. So Dr. Des, right?
Yeah.
Let me get straight into it, right? Let's talk about this Des factor that you created.
All right.
How did that come about? Why did you create that?
So I've been in the dating scene for a little bit now, and I'm looking for a certain caliber of woman. I'm one of those guys that is not timid about sharing their desires. I'm one of those guys that is not shy to express himself honestly. So I was looking for like, what kind of woman will I want? That's where the Des factor come into place because I'm very unique. I cherish physical beauty. I think women are blessed with certain features that there's a reason for those features, and I love it. So I said, okay, this is what I want. I want somebody with these certain features of physical appearance, and then appearance is shallow. I understand that. But I go a little bit deeper. If you pass the appearance test, we're going to talk about the intellect, the brain, which is the B portion of the Des factor. So I ask them questions to see how their reasoning is, both qualitative and quantitative reasoning. And also, last but not the least, the character. I want to make sure that it's a woman I can take to my mom. I'm an African man, like I always mention on the show. I'm always an African first. And, your mom has to be able to accept your woman. And they're not going to accept a woman without a good character. So that's where the Des factor came from.
Okay, so it's something that you made up yourself. I do want to ask you, do you not think that you need to move on from this Des factor? Because clearly it hasn't worked. No girl has qualified.
Man, this is hilarious. Man, don't you think you should move on from this Des factor because it hasn't worked? Man, it's too funny.
So don't you think it's time that you find something else?
Well, I wouldn't say no girl has qualified. There's wonderful ladies that I meet every day that meet requirements for the Des factor. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to have a certain score that, above a certain threshold. But then, we have to have common fundamental values. So I still believe, I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm a romantic guy. I believe there is a woman out there for me. And I believe there's actually quality people that I've been talking to and getting to know more. And I'm like, it actually works. I understand that having a criteria like that reduces the dating pool. That's okay. I don't want too many options. I want a limited select few that are high quality that I can pick from. And that's where the Des factor comes in. It limits that pool. So all the people that do not meet those criteria or those qualifications don't make it up to that, that selection.
Okay, so you have your own standards, basically. You have your own standards.
Absolutely, like everyone else.
Okay, no, I hear that. And I must say as well, so today we see you have a new hairstyle. The
Right.
braids are gone. Yeah. So, what made you get rid of the braids? Because we saw a lot of comments
Oh my God,
about your
my
hair.
God. All
What
right.
made you
Yeah.
decide to?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on?
The story about this braid is it's a long story, okay? I live in Indiana. Your show shoots in Arizona, you know. So I had to come in the day before, get in a hotel. I forgot my durag, okay? So I went to bed, got up in the morning. The braids looked terrible. I knew that. Fair enough. All the comments about my braids are fair. They are fair criticisms, okay? There's no much, the highest insult I've ever received in my life was about those braids. The top three would be like craplet braids, somebody
Probably.
said boneless braids, skinny
I heard
legs
Spider
braids,
Man.
Skinny leg,
that
bro.
I heard
Spider-Man
Spider
braids.
Man. Yeah.
Man, for the most part, it was humorous. I find it very, it was humorous, it was funny, and,
Definitely
I read
funny.
the comments, I respond to the comment, and it was very funny. But here's the story about the braids. I went in there, slept on the braids, got up the next morning, looked at it in the mirror. It didn't look good. I tried my best to get it walked up and straightened up. It didn't look good. I said, you know what? I cannot take this braid to the show because as a high value man, there's a certain way that I have to present myself. So I Googled braiders near me around the Phoenix area within a 20-mile radius. Okay. I found like 4 or 5 places. I drove there. All of them they said that they only do appointments. I offered to pay this lady $300 cash. So cancel this appointment just to do this here because this show I'm going on, I need to present a certain level of branding for myself. I
So
don't want
that's
to
why
go
he
there
wore
with
a
a
hat.
brace
He
like
wore a
that.
hat.
But
Okay.
there was no way. She has a loyalty to her customer base, and that didn't work out. And I went to Barber Salon. I wanted to cut the braids off and just go my low cut. But again, I couldn't get in before the show shoots. And that's what happened to the braid. I'm sorry to your comment section. My braid was messed up. I mean, it is what it is. It is gone.
Okay.
And by the way, there's not anything else to insult, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, her line crooked.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about this high value man that you keep saying that you are, right? I want to ask you a question. Yeah. Would a high value man stomp on a balloon the way that you did?
Right.
Simple answer is no. If you go on my Instagram, I posted a video on that incident, okay? I kind of make fun out of it. It was a spur of the moment. Some people describe me as serious, and others would describe me as funny as well. And this is a clean example. Danielle think I'm a stickler, or I appear to be a serious guy. But if you just rewind that clip a little bit before that, you see that I'm actually I'm a fun-loving guy. I laugh out loud, and some people would find my laughing irritating, and they don't consider that to be a high-value laugh. I don't even know, but somebody made a comment like that. However, I'm a funny guy. I like to do some goofy stuff once in a while. I think stomping on the balloon was immature on my part, but in no way, shape, or form was it meant to diminish Danielle as a human being. Okay. After the show, I reached out to her personally. I said, hey, I reached out to her IG, say, hey, no malice intended. You are a beautiful lady, and I wanted to sincerely apologize
So
first
why you do it
for the
though?
stomping on the balloon, and second, for one of the comments, I think I misspoke when I mentioned the aroma. I meant to mention aura. So I feel your aura, your presence, but I said her aroma. So people kind of misconstrued that, thinking that it was about scent or smell or things like that. No, it was actually the presence. So she didn't stink, she didn't smell. I was trying to communicate that it was the aura I was talking about. And by the way, English is not my first language, okay? I'm from Cameroon, was bilingual. My mother tongue is different. So sometimes my subject-verb agreement may not be perfect. Sometimes my pronunciation may not be perfect. But I do take accountability and responsibility when I misspeak. For that incident, I misspoke about the aroma. It was aura that I meant to communicate.
I mean, it's good that you took some accountability there. Because I must say, stomping on a balloon like that is very childish. You
It
know,
is.
if
That's
you are
not the
talking
first time.
of a high
Yeah,
value man,
yeah.
high
I agree with that because when you watch the younger versions of matching and balloon popping, they do be stumping balloons, and it is kind of disrespectful and childish. But all that show is not like that. It's a little bit more structured, a little bit more mature. So, in yeah, other people's eyes, I can see where they see that would be disrespectful.
value men know how to act, especially when you're being watched by millions of people, right? So I want to ask you, Dr. Des, what does high value man mean to you?
Okay, I'll make it simple. I know when the lady asked me on the show, it didn't flow the way I wanted it to flow, but everybody knows we go on that show, people get nervous.
Right.
Okay. High value man, number one thing I want to mention here. A high value man first, you gotta have the income. And that income has to be consistent for a given period of time. So, baseline, 6 figures, okay? You gotta make at minimum above a 6 figure threshold for a certain period of time. So, some people say 3 years, some people say 5 years. I happen to believe if you make more than 6 figures or more than 5 years, you do fall in a category of a high value man with other stipulations that's supposed to apply. Second thing, education. A high value man is an educated guy. You got to possess at least a certain level of education, formal education. Also, you got to be street smart. Just academics doesn't cut it. A high value
What
man
makes you street
is
smart?
street smart. You have common sense. You can interact with people. You bring value into people's lives. You bring value into the community. And also, a high value man has valuable relationships. Okay, you're in the midst of other high value men. You keep company of other high value men. You can easily get referral recommendations from other high value men. That relationship is very important. Last but not the least, integrity. Integrity. High value men are not liars. People will come on the show and they'll ask him, do you think celibacy was your celibacy successful in your relationships? You say, yeah. I mean, what do you mean? If it was successful, you wouldn't be on another dating show. Be
Right.
honest, man. Just gotta be honest.
So let me ask you, yeah. So obviously you said that on the show you said as an African man, you need to be older than your woman, right? The last girl that came out, she was 37 years old. She was the same age as you. Now, she could have been older than you by months, right? So you didn't know that, but you kept your balloon. Now, you're basically saying that he has to be older, meaning is it older by months as well, or is it older by years?
Older by years. So, for example, if I take her to my
So,
family,
right.
if I take her to my family, they'll say, oh, this is Crystal. She's 37 years old. Nobody cares about the months. Nobody cares about her. They just want to know how old she is. And that I'm 37, she's 37. That's fine. That's acceptable, traditionally speaking. I want to make a caveat. No, there's a nuance to that statement. When I say as an African man, I'm talking about African traditional values. Traditional values in the African cultural context, usually, men are usually older than the women or their wives. Usually. I know there are exceptions. But all my
Every
African
time.
brothers and African sisters, they know this to be true. When you take somebody, go, they say, oh, this is my wife, she's older than me. It's not like they're going to oppose the marriage, but they're going to be questions, or they're going to be like, why will you go for someone older than you? Like, you're going to be judged, basically. So I'm just saying that traditional African values,
So you
men,
so basically what you're saying is regardless if you like them, you gonna focus on people judging you or judging her based off her age. What if you really like the person?
should be at least older than their wives, because the man is looked at as the leader in the household, the provider in the household, the protector of the household. And sometimes when the lady is older than the guy, respect. If the lady may do something that's not even intentional, but that guy may see that thing as a disrespect because she's older than you. You know, those are some of the things that make us who we are. And
true.
I know that right now we live in a conventional society. Everybody wants to do things conventionally the way the Western world does. I still have some African traditional values that I still respect and I still want to honor, even though I am a Western guy, but I still have African traditional values.
Yeah, and her
So how
being
comes the
older,
last
the
girl?
woman being older, she might be set in her ways, or she might feel like she's smarter than you or got more experience than you. And I get what he's saying. She ain't gonna want to listen, or she ain't gonna want to play her role like she should. She gonna want to run shit.
She was the same age as you. You was not older than her by years. You said that the guy has to be older than the girl by years. How comes you was gonna go for her?
Honestly, you want me to be frankly honest with you about this last lady? I felt like the rate and speed at which I was popping my balloon because of age was a little bit too much, and it may give a wrong impression to the audience that I wasn't there to look for love. So I wanted to give Krista, I think her name is Krista, right? I wanted to give her a chance. I'm like, okay, the age is because normally my age preference is not even. I don't want somebody that was the same age preferentially. I may make some exceptions if other qualities outweighs the age. I may make some exceptions. We live in America. I wanted to give her a chance. I wanted to see what else. I wanted to at least have opportunity to talk about the other aspects of the death factor because most of it ended at appearance. So I thought she was going to be a good one that we can go a little bit further. Honestly, my age preference is a mature 24-year-old to 35-year-old. That's my preference. As a man, I want to give at least 2 years. But I can leave my balloon for certain exceptions, like Crystal was one of them. She was 37. I'm like, okay, this one I can bring to the family and say, hey, this is my babe. She's 37. There'll be no judgment. But that was it.
Looking at yourself on the show, right? You say that you're a high value man, but would a high value man act the way that you acted on that show?
What do you mean?
There's a reason why it's called a show. This is not a movie. This is not anything else. This is a show. And a show has to have spikes.
No,
However,
my question is: would a high value man act the way that you acted on the show? So the way you're starting asking that question is as if like you plan to act like that for the show.
no, absolutely
Hold up
not.
now.
So
Hold up now. Hold up. Now, BM say that every interview, bro. Like, I don't know why he think people come on there planning on acting a certain way. Now, a woman can come over there and plan on, okay, I just want some exposure. I'm just gonna pop everybody. But I don't think he went on there planning to act as cocky as he is. I think that's his personality.
I'm a
would a
show
high
guy.
value man would a high
Oh,
value man act the way you acted? Yes or no?
no. Okay. To answer your
Okay,
question,
so you said no.
wait. To answer your
You s-
question,
you you said no. You said a high value man would not act like that, right?
I was saying that stumping the balloon, a high value man would not do that. That was the only immature thing that happened on that show that I don't think a high value man would do in any situations like that. I think stomping on the balloon was immature. I expressed that already. But the way I carried myself throughout the rest of the show, it reflects high value. You know, if you look at my outfit, people make comment about my outfit. I'm not afraid to say where I shop. I'm not going to come and lie that I shop at Gucci, Versace, Louis Vuitton to be high value. No, I shop at Men's Warehouse. They don't pay me to say that, but they have quality products that I like. That suit, that's why I got it. People say something about my shoes. That shoe's a $300 pair of shoes. It's not expensive. It's not cheap either. So I'm just saying, a high value man, when you're talking about a high value man, you're looking at me. I am, if you look at the lineup on the show and they say, okay, without the show airing, just the pictures or the first video on the lineup, they say point one high value man on that picture. Guess who they're going to point? They're going to point me. Why? Because you see me, you see value.
Okay, Desmond, let me just be completely honest with you.
I want to
Okay?
hear this come up.
Yeah?
If anybody is to talk about that episode, they're just going to talk about how you acted on that episode. Because all the girls that came out, I cannot remember one thing that the girls said that was out of line or that was wild towards you. But the only person that I can remember, I mean, one of the persons I can remember the most that said so many things was you. That was out of pocket or wild. It was you, right? So I'm basically trying to make you understand, right? If you watch that episode and you did not reflect on yourself, on how you acted, then you need to know that you are the problem. You
Agreed.
see, this is the thing. Okay, that's good. It's good that obviously man to man, right?
Mhm.
If you're looking for love, right, you have to be ready. You have to have you have to make sure that you are a better version of yourself before you even think about dating or getting in a relationship, especially a serious relationship. Because the first thing you need to do before you even enter a serious relationship is fix yourself. You need to be able to fix yourself because the person that you are dating is not going to fix you. You need to fix yourself first. So when you come on the show and you see how you act, you need to go back and rewatch that show and actually think, oh, wait, this is the reason why I'm single. When I got my assistant to call you, she told me, yeah, he speaks very well. I think he's going to do well on the show. So obviously when I spoke to you as well, I was like, yeah, you know what? You got your life together. I think you're going to do very well. So the way you acted on the show was completely surprising to me because the way you the way you are, the way you carry yourself, you're well put together. So now you need to match it with, you have to match it with actually acting right.
Gotcha. You know, to be honest with you, going back, reflect. I went back and watched it twice. One thing I want to say is this: every human being have some form of a death factor. Because I express that clearly and vividly, it makes it sound unrealistic. But every lady, every guy, they have specifications on the kind of guy they want. I gave you an example of a height. So nobody can change their height. Why would you judge somebody because they're short? Why wouldn't you want to date a short guy? That's one of it. We're talking about income. Yeah, people can change their income. Ladies do not want to date broke guys. That's a fact. They say it every time. If you don't have your back, I'm not going to date you. That's another thing. It's a criteria, it's a specification, it's a preference. So the death factor is my preference. If you want to be with me, that is my preference. And likewise, I expect you to have your own preference. I don't want you to just follow me because, I am this person. You come with your preference, I come with my preference, we meet halfway. Do you know why men cheat on their wives or why women cheat on their partners? Because people compromise a lot. I can, in terms of compromise, 80%, 80-20. So I can, for the person that I like, if they have 80% of what I want in a partner, I'll take it. I'll know that 20% of their shortcomings, the 80 supersedes that. But for me to reduce that percentage to 50 or to 10, I cannot do it. There's somebody for everybody out there. I talk about the physical, the physique. I am a man that likes certain features. If you want me to reduce that or to compromise on that, and I take a lady with a flat butt, then I'm walking on the beach with that lady, turn my eyes, I'm seeing all this nice beauty. Man, what do you think is gonna happen? My eyes gonna be stuck on it. But if I'm walking with my babe that has everything I want, there's no reason for me to look out there.
Facts.
And that's what people are missing in life.
Okay, Desmond, are you single? It's a
I
question.
am
Are you
single.
single?
Yes.
You're single, right? So something that you're doing is not working.
I'm on a
So
path
that's
to a
why I'm saying
relationship.
that's not what I'm saying to you is like sometimes when you're single, right? You probably might have a lot of people who around you that might be single as well. I don't know. I'm just saying, right? So sometimes people that are single will give you advices that you think is the right advice, right? You think, yes, what you're doing is right. Maybe they don't see what you're doing, right? But say for instance, if you go and get advice from a lot of people who are in a relationship or they are married, they're probably going to see what wrongs you're doing and they'll tell you to adjust the wrongs that you're doing in order to get the results that you want. Like by me just watching you on that show, I would tell you, Desmond, like you are well put together, but the way that you acted on that show made it seem like you wasn't trying to find love.
Apart from the stomping on the balloon, what other actions portray that I wasn't, the way I was acting was of low value? Apart from the stomping on the
Well,
balloon.
you were judging people. That's what you
No,
saying.
I'm not saying that you was acting low value. I'm saying that you was doing too much. Like you was just saying things. First of all, a lot of stuff that you said
What I
wasn't
believe.
make. what you believe. The Des factor is what you believe, right? Okay, let's start with the first girl that came out, right? The first girl comes out, and the first thing you say is that I have a Des factor, and you don't fit any of that. You didn't
No,
pass the. What do you
appearance. It
just
doesn't fit
what?
appearance.
Okay, why do you just say, oh, something simple? Why do you just say, oh, appearance wise, you know what, something that
That's what I said.
I'm not
If you
into.
watch the
No,
video
but
for
you
the
said you
first
have to
girl,
talk about the death factor. You have to talk about all this stuff to make you sound like you are high value for producing the death factor. That
I
is
am
doing
actually
too
high
much.
value. I'm not trying to make myself sound like it. I am it. I am it. So I wasn't, it wasn't, most people see that as an act because they don't know me. But if you know me in real life, ask my friends, they'll tell you. It's the way I talk. Sometimes my voice is always going to be louder, but that's the way I talk. Most of my family
Okay.
members, when we're talking, you think we're having an argument. We're not. That's how we speak. We speak with a certain level of confidence. We speak with a certain level of clarity. And, I am an educated guy, so my choice of word are refined. Okay, so when I mention some of those things, I follow structure. I didn't come there with those things. Some people say I was going from a script. There was no script. There was no script.
Who said
I
you
am
had this
evaluating
script?
what I see. I do evaluation on a daily basis. I can tell you about the nursing process. You assess, you diagnose, you plan, you implement, you evaluate. And throughout the show, was going through my head repeatedly, evaluate and reevaluate. And that's why, as we get closer, I try to be giving more people opportunity or any chances for them to express themselves. Let me address one thing you mentioned about why am I single, or if I'm looking for love, or men age like fine wine. I'm in no hurry. I got to meet the right person. If I meet the right person, we will date, we will be together, we will have a partnership. If I don't meet the right person, I am not going to compromise. I am not afraid to be single.
As you
I'm
should.
okay. I have a lot of flexibilities right now. If I want to be in London tomorrow, I'll be in London tomorrow. I have nobody to answer to. Nobody answers to me. I'll be in London tomorrow. I like that part of my life, but I also want a partner that can have that level of independence. I have traditional African values, but most women think that because I said those things on the show, I'm sounding narcissistic, or I can be controlling, and all of those things. Get to know me as a normal human being. Talk to my friends. Who'll tell you who am I. I am very easygoing. When the situation calls for being serious, I will be serious. If the situation calls for being calm, I'll be your calm. I'll be your peace. If the situation calls for just being fun, hang out, get a cigar, go to the bar, get a drink, get shots. I'll do that. I'm the life of the party. Wherever I go, I'm the life of the party. And
Okay.
that's what it is.
Okay. So let me give you an example, right, Desmond, right? This guy that you see here, this guy, look at him, Desmond. He's a cool guy. I've spoken to you. You're actually a cool guy, right?
Thank you, man.
Now,
Thanks for saying that. That actually lifts me up a
right,
little bit.
okay. Okay, so if you look at me, right? When you said to me, when I spoke to you, you said to me, "Right, BM, I didn't know that you're a musician and you're very down to earth." What did you say? You found out that I made some songs that you know of, right? But how do I act in front of people?
You are a gentle guy. Okay. There are people like
Okay,
you, and we need those people like you on this world. And we need people like me. We have to coexist.
okay. So let me give you an example now, right, Desmond? Right? You see the way I am. I wouldn't go out there and start talking like this. I am a high value man. I have the BM factor. If you don't
You
qualify for the
do have the
BM
BM
factor,
factor, man. Come on.
yes, but the thing is, I don't need people to see me in that state for them to think that I'm high value. I'm just very down to earth. Do you kind of get the point? Other
Yeah.
people are seeing you as you're doing too much. When if you just act like this, like how you are right now, it's great. It's balanced. That's what I think the people are basically just seeing. They're just seeing like you may be thinking that you are you was
Right.
the best one out there in the lineup. You get what I'm saying? You know how the world sees people, right?
I'm saying,
You got to think
And
best of.
also,
I'm saying if you have the, like he said, if you have the income, you have the materialistic things, you have the career, and you feel like you have physical attraction, is it bad to be a little cocky? Put yourself in his shoes. If you was everything that you wanted to be, and you can, you had the bread, you can buy whatever you want, go wherever you want, where you want, no kids. I'm saying, how would you feel? How would you act?
So
Yourself, bro. Yeah, I know. It's just something that, some of us were born, especially coming from where we came from, we're born with an innate quality of like self-confidence. You don't have to tell me to be confident. You don't have to boost my morale or my self-esteem. We grow up, we've learned a lot of resiliency throughout the process. I've been in poverty, I've seen suffering, and I've seen money. So I know both lives. So sometimes when I talk about certain things, it's coming from a hard-earned experience that I've gone through. So no one can beat down my confidence wherever I go and I speak of myself as a founder and CEO of Platinum Care Health Solutions. That's my brand. People thought that I came on the show just to sell my business or sell my brand. No, I am part of my brand. If you ask me to introduce myself, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Desmond. People will call me Dr. Des. And I am the founder and CEO of Platinum Care Health Solutions. Period. That's
that's
me.
another thing as well. But that's what you don't see. I'm trying to tell you, Desmond, that you're not seeing what you did wrong by saying that you are the founder of this multiple times. It comes across as you're trying to promote something. You're not really there trying to find love. So
Okay.
what I say to you, when I say to you, Desmond, you're gonna. I feel like you always have to find an excuse to back up anything that people tell you about yourself.
It's like he boosting
And
himself
that's the
up,
number one
basically.
thing that you need to do in life. Reflect on what people are saying to you, because
Basically, he telling him stop tooting his own horn.
all those tens of thousands of comments, right? There must be some truth in what some of these people are saying. Not saying all of them. I'm saying some of them. There must be some truth. That's what all I'm saying is this: people that come on the show just reflect upon some of these things. And I guarantee you, like if you was to come back on the show and you matched, it would be a different story. Right? And also you keep saying that you're an African man, you're an African man. I know a lot of African men that don't act like you.
Bro.
The ones that act like you, they're always gonna be judged, they're always gonna be, talked about as the way that they act.
Yeah. And there's one more accountability part. There's one more accountability part I want to bring on. Tamir, the lady with the green dress. Yes, the honest truth about Tamir. I know I mentioned something about her legs and the age or something like that. Tamir is a beautiful lady. Tamir, if that show was structured in a way that the people say their name and where they are from originally before we even, I would have made exceptions for Tamir. I would have compromised a lot. Let me not say a lot. I would have made an exception for Tamir because Tamir is exactly her energy, her aura captivate me even till today. I talked to Hamach, the firefighter guy. I said, man, Tamir, treat that lady right, okay? Because she's actually a very good lady. She's actually very sweet. I can tell. I have a certain level of instincts. I can tell. I wouldn't have fought for Tamir. I would have made an exception for Tamir, and I would have loved to get to know Tamir more. After the show, I think I also sent her a message. I said, hey, Tamir, I'm so sorry about the comment I made about your legs. It's just there are certain things that I'm looking for, like I explained, but she's very fun, and she was okay with it,
But do you see, and I like the fact that you took accountability there, because do you see what people are talking about? Also, what I always keep talking about, I keep saying this on the show, you don't know how somebody is really like in that space that you have when you come on the show. You're thinking quick, right? But when you started talking about your Des Factor stuff, you are automatically blocking all of this that you might like her. You're not even giving her a chance because you have this Des Factor form that she has to pass. Do you get what I'm saying? If you didn't think about that Des Factor, you could have ended up matching with someone like her. Obviously, she matched already, but I'm just saying, like, if you didn't even have that thought, you would have been like, you know what? Let me match and then see how it goes. But at the same time, after the show, you realized that, wow, like, you could have matched with her. And was there somebody else that you wanted to match with that you didn't match with?
Gigi was one that, I left my balloon on pop for Gigi. Gigi is a very dedicated lady. She's been through the rigor of military service, and anyone that has gone through that process, has a certain level of stamina and rigor, and I like that about Gigi. And Gigi also, even after all that, she's still humble. The way she speaks, the way she carry herself.
Right, yeah.
I left my balloon and pop for Gigi. I mean, for her, I know most people seem to believe that I was too shallow when it comes to the eye contact. I don't know how it is for Congolese or for Congo, but I know in Cameroon, if I'm talking to my parents, my teacher, someone I respect, I'm looking them in the eye, that's disrespect. You know, that's disrespect.
Why?
So if I know that in the
Why is
military,
it disrespect not to look somebody in the face? Is it showing that you don't fear them or something, or is it showing that you're challenging them? I don't know. It don't make sense to
you
me.
have to be looking at whoever you're talking to with the eye. That's a lot. That shows respect. That shows that you're engaging in conversation. And I just see that some back and forth that we may have problems going down the road, you know, just because of things like that. So
But I
Gigi
mean,
is somebody that
you could have asked her. Just a simple thing. You could have asked her about what does that mean to you, and then
I
maybe
knew
she might
what it
have said,
meant.
"Oh
She
no."
explained that because she was talking to Ice. Ice was looking her in the eyes, you know, and that's what she valued a lot
Yeah,
about Ice. That's
yeah,
one of the
she
things
did
she
say that.
listed, you know. So I'm like, if that means a lot, that much to you, means this much significance to you, yeah, I may not meet that threshold on that because sometimes I may avoid eye contact just out of respect.
No, but what I'm saying is that, but what if you ask her and say, "Oh, I may avoid eye contact because of this," and then she agreed? What if, what if that happened?
Then maybe it would have matched.
Okay.
She's not gonna. She's from the military.
So
She's not gonna avoid
moving
eye contact.
forward, what have you learned about yourself from this whole experience?
This experience taught me being most people, there are many people that cannot accept the honest truth. They want you to sugarcoat the truth. They want you to tell it in a way that's pleasing to them.
Look, he pissing
I
Bill
am a
off.
straight
Look at him.
shooter.
Look at him.
I am an honest man. If you are asking me a question, you should be prepared to know the answer. I know there is tact when it comes to answering questions. I can do that in a professional setting. But if it's me and you, man to man, or in a dating show, fast and fast, you know, as we say in French, it's, you know, I have a very short time to respond to you. I don't have time to go and sugarcoat it. If you want to know something about yourself that you're asking me, I'll give you an honest review. And I just don't want people to have the impression that I'm an arrogant guy. There's a difference between honesty and directness with arrogant. Okay, so I am direct.
But on this podcast, you have said that you took some accountability on how you acted, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying to you. If you see that there's a lot of people talking about certain things, maybe you need to make adjustments a little bit, you know, to get the results that you want. You know?
That's true.
And
Uh,
yeah,
and that's
and I
why the
also
braid is
wanna.
gone. The braid is gone. That's an adjustment.
Right, you made an adjustment, right? So the first step is taking accountability, and that's what life is about, you know. All right, well, bro, thank you for coming on the podcast, and yeah, I do hope that people see a different side of you. You know, they see that how you really are, which is like this, and I hope that in future, we see different results. And
Yeah.
comment down below if you want to see Dr. Des back on the show again.
That's basically kind of that's how I figured he would act anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's his personality. He didn't act too different from what he acted on the show. It's just the fact that he explained himself and took accountability. You know what I'm saying? If you stay to the end of the video, hit the like button. If you're new, please subscribe. Old or new, please share the video on all other platforms to help the channel grow. And I'm going to holler at y'all in the next one.